And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Super Opposed podcast where we talk all things DC, Marvel, and Star Wars. It is your boys, Comic Cuts and Stevie Hayes. We are back here again. And today we have a lot to talk about. But first off, bro, how are you doing? Like, how was your day going, my man?
It's all right. I'm a little under the weather. I hope I don't sound it. But other than that, it's good. Good day at work, and just out here doing the thing. How's all with you, Stevie?
Good, bro. Just me and you both always talk offline, so work was work. I was a little tired
Mm.
from that, but other than that, man, I'm chilling, man. Just living the dream, man. Um, yeah. I mean, I might be seeing Creed early Wednesday, so I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to see that or not on time.
Oh,
But I'm
nice.
going
I've
to,
actually no.
yeah.
Sorry,
Now go ahead. What's you?
I was never seen any of them.
You never seen any of them?
Nah.
Yeah. So I funny story. I texted I have this group chat with all my local friends called Movie Bros because we all see all the like premieres and stuff. So I texted in the group chat and I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Who wants to see Creed early?" And then and then of course Matt goes, "No, he's not supporting Creed because of the way of the whole Sylvester Stallone drama." And so
Oh
I
God.
said, "Bro, you got to see it this way. Sylvester Stallone had $100 to his name. He sold all of his rights to to the freaking company, right? Or to the
Hmm.
producing company. So when you sell all of your rights away, you can't make any more prime decisions. You know why? Because you sold away your rights,
Right.
So I mean, and I mean, is it wrong? Is it messed up? Yes, but that's we live in a capitalist country, bro. That's the way the movie business works, and that's how it's always
Yeah.
worked. So, but anyways, so I did want to talk to you about Ant-Man and address some things that you have said about Marvel because I've come to this conclusion after looking at the Ant-Man box office numbers and obviously seeing that it did terrible this weekend. A movie about a cocaine bear did better than Ant-Man, and this is actually the biggest drop for a MCU movie in history. So, and you and I both love Ant-Man. We think it's a great movie, and I will forever say that. I also want to tell you some things that I heard about this. Okay, you tell me how you feel. Did you know? Don't you know how like there were some patterns in the movie where it was like very badly edited?
You know, I saw a lot of people saying a lot of things. It was bad editing. It was bad VFX. I didn't notice that when I watched the movie. You know, I just I enjoyed it. I didn't have those quality problems with it. I'm sure once I give it a rewatch at home where I get to look at it, and like when I'm first watching a movie in the theater, I'm not judging all that kind of stuff. I just want to see if it's a good movie, if I like it. Um, I'm watching out for character development, things like that. But when I watch it at home, I'm sure I'll notice that a little bit closer. But what do you have to say about it? What are people saying online that maybe I'm not aware
Yeah.
of?
So the funny thing is that they did this for Thor: Love and Thunder and Wakanda Forever. They fixed the VFX issues before it goes out onto Disney Plus, so then we don't see it. But so apparently the VFX people weren't even done editing it, and they just rushed it in. So apparently the movie wasn't even done, like
Yeah.
in the edit. And so this has kind of been a common pattern that's kind of been going on is that like the MCU, like I mean, and I know I know me and you were talking about last week about how the whole VFX team were just complaining about like the work and all that jazz, and me and you both think that they're just being just sour about that. Like you work for Marvel, bro, enjoy it. But I
Yeah.
do, yeah, exactly. But I do but like after kind of rewatching it again and seeing some of the faults that are in this film, like from a VFX standpoint, um, I think that this Cocaine Bear movie beating Ant Man in the second week, I think it's a big wake up call for Marvel. I really think it is a big wake up call because not to also mention the whole ending of Ant Man was changed at the last second as well, and we've seen this pattern of these changes, right? Because we all know that in the multiverse of madness was also changed. We all know that America Chavez was supposed to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. She did not end up being in that movie. We also know that there were changes to WandaVision as well, and those things were changed because she was supposed to have a more traditional House of M storyline, and we got bonered. like
Yo,
you know what I mean? So there's
like
there's
Ralph Bonner.
yeah, it's yeah, that's a joke. We got Boner. So yeah, right. I love that. Yo, I was like, really? His name is Boner? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just the biggest troll. But we've seen this pattern, and I'm going to address this also about how I think that there's a reason why there are talks of Agatha being shelved, and even the Echo, even the Echo show being shelved as well. And I talked about this in my video that came out earlier today. I said that what the MCU is doing that is wrong is that instead of using main characters, because look, if you think about the beginning of the MCU, right? War Machine was introduced in Iron Man 2, right? So Bucky and Falcon were introduced in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So there's been this solid pattern that we've been getting. Even Loki. Loki was introduced in Thor. We have been getting solid characters introduced through main characters. And I think the mess up is you see that fans love Agatha, so you make an Agatha show. You see that Vision is going on his own thing, so you want to do a Vision Quest series. You know, you see
Mhm.
that I don't know if anyone loved Echo, but Echo was all right, and then you make an Echo show instead of doing a WandaVision season 2 and just making the whole season 2 about her and Vision, and then doing a WandaVision season 3 and putting a plain focus on Agatha returning, or even doing a Daredevil Born Again season 1 with Echo in the show, because you know Daredevil and Echo have a big romance thing that happens in the comic books. I think that, and Kevin Feige said this in his interview, and I hope that he's like learning. He said that one of the biggest learning curves for them was the TV shows, and we all know that the main issue is that they were putting out too much content. So I think that with Ant Man failing, not I'm not gonna say failing, but with Ant Man not doing the best as it's done before, I think that there are going to be certain like pivotal changes. You know what I mean? And I believe that you know, I'll be honest, bro. I don't think that Agatha's going to make it to Disney Plus. I don't think that Echo's going to make it to Disney Plus. I don't even think that Ironheart might. Honestly, I don't think Ironheart might not even make it there either. I think they're going to save Ironheart for the War Machine film. I think they need to go back to kind of what worked before, which is you have your main characters and you introduce the side characters in the story with the main character. Because honestly, how would you have felt, bro, if we got a Falcon TV show after Captain America and the Winter Soldier? You wouldn't have liked it. You would have said, "Why are we getting this B list? Like, how does this help the? You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
can help drive the story, but he's not interesting enough as a character. How do you feel about that?
It seems like, and I know I mentioned this on the last episode, but it seems like they are putting these projects in front of us, and the goal is to launder in these characters, and it's just not working. The fact that they were considering putting America Chavez into No Way Home, and then last minute they decided to change Doctor Strange Multiverse of the Madness ending and put her into that movie. I mean, they must have had to reshoot or re-edit whatever the entire movie of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and they did it with the priority of putting America Chavez in the movie. So that just says to me they don't really care about the movie. They actually care more about putting characters like America Chavez in, because they had Doctor Strange Multiverse of the Madness in the can, done, ready to go, and then they were like, you know what? We're going to put America Chavez in. And I think that movie would have been much better off without America Chavez. And I think that they're laundering in these characters. And, whether in the beginning phase of the MCU, with War Machine, Loki, and the other characters that, came in early, War Machine and Loki are not characters that were forced down our throats. They weren't characters that they grabbed an entire movie and changed it last minute for them to fit. They weren't characters that they gave the entire third arc to, like they did in the Multiverse of Madness. And you gotta wonder, what's the common denominator with all these characters? Like I said before, they're all women, and that's all Marvel wants to do. They want to put more women into big roles, and they want to call it a Doctor Strange movie and have America Chavez movie. And
Exactly. And look,
and
exactly, bro. And like it's fine to introduce the woman. We're not against it. But when you
yep,
sacrifice the story to make, and not even a woman, just any character, when you sacrifice your main character story to push the main characters, like to push a side character story, it hurts the film. We already had Wanda. And I'm not gonna lie, and this is what also is kind of confusing to me, bro, because when you think about it, didn't it seem like after WandaVision going into Doctor Strange, didn't it seem like Wanda was going to be like the centerpiece of Phase 4 going into Phase 5? Like, or am I
absolutely.
the only one that was thinking that? And then all of a sudden, and I know what happened, right? They put her to sleep, and this is why. You know why? Because they want to save her for the X-Men, and that's just the reality. They want to wait until but they want to wait until we have a proper Quicksilver and a Magneto in the MCU, because they know that honestly, you can only go so far with her in the MCU right now,
But
in my opinion.
that brings another problem. Why make Wanda such a centerpiece around Phase 4 to just go and be, you know what? We're gonna save her for Phase 6, 7, whatever the case may be, when they finally bring in the X-Men. And it's just these prioritizing of strengthening these female characters, sacrificing the story, sacrificing plans,
Exactly.
and I got to tell you, as much as I liked Ant-Man, seeing that the fall off in the box office, because the truth is, whether we think it's a great movie or not, those numbers are a failure to Disney. Disney
I
does,
agree.
the big thing about the MCU for Hollywood has been, and this is what I said before about actors all wanting to be a part of the MCU. The MCU lore in Hollywood is that it's a guaranteed financial success for the actors. It's guaranteed exposure. But if you're dropping off 70% in week 2 and losing out to movies like Cocaine Bear, you got a problem on your hands. And that might be something you want to take a look at before moving forward with this nonsense, because fans are getting tired of it. I liked Ant-Man. I did. But there's a lot of Phase 4 movies that I didn't, that I thought should have been a lot better. And, if they keep having these problems where fans are not loving their movies, you're not going to be able to put a movie out and have guaranteed success. You're not going to have all the hot actors that wanted to be a part of it, and you're going to have people that are like, listen, I put up with a couple bad movies because I want to see what's going to happen with this Marvel story, and I've been invested for so long. But why am I invested anymore? Is it still fun? Are the stories still good? So you got a real problem on your hands if you don't course correct now.
I agree. And also, if I was Kevin Feige, do you know what I would have did? I would have
What?
ended Phase 4. I would have ended Phase 4 with an Avengers film.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
I
we
mean,
needed.
why aren't we ending these phases with Avengers movies? You know what I mean? Like, bro, each phase should end with an Avengers film. There's no way, because in my opinion, I think you could have done a lot with. I think you could have put the Avengers against somebody like a Mephisto or a group of characters. You know, we could have even gotten at the end of Phase 4. We already got introduced to He Who Remains. We could have got some Kang, like some people that Kang sent to come and fight. You know, I mean, there was a lot that you could do there, and it's like when you look at these storyboards, bro, it's starting to get very frustrating. Of like, okay, how many missed opportunities are we going to really deal with here? Like how many missed opportunities are we just going to let kind of just run its course, and we're just not going to say anything? You know, it's getting kind of, and I'm getting a little scared, like, because for what the future is, because I'll be honest, if I'm Feige, I'm pushing the X-Men up. I would screw everything and just put the X-Men out. In my opinion, I would just go
And
for
that's
what is, because that's all, bro. That's all what fans want. I'll be
yeah,
honest. Fans
fans
don't
are
care
dying
about
for
Agatha
X-Men.
Harkness. Fans don't care about like the Echo show, bro.
So I agree with the X-Men, but that also brings me to something I've been thinking about a lot as well with the future.
Yeah.
The next two Avengers rosters, I think, need serious work before they happen. Because if you come out with, America Chavez, Echo, Jane Foster, Thor, you're gonna have a real problem. Okay, people are not gonna want to see that movie, and
Yeah.
I don't think that they care. I think that they'd rather put the movie out with that team. And when it comes down to it, I know, I think it makes more sense to push off Fantastic Four, but maybe they need them. And I think the Fantastic Four and X-Men, my point is that maybe the MCU won't have to be an Avengers, story. Maybe it becomes a Fantastic Four thing. Maybe it becomes an X-Men thing. Because the current Avengers roster, as much as you tell me Secret Wars, you tell me Kang Dynasty, I get stoked. But at the same time, when I think about those Avengers rosters, I have my reservations. So I do think that there is value in bringing other teams into the MCU, even like the Thunderbolts. Whether it's an anti-hero villain thing, I'd be more interested in that than what the current Avengers roster looks like.
Exactly, and I don't understand why these directors and writers aren't taking pages out of like the Russo's book. Like Civil War was basically an Avengers movie, you know?
Yep.
Like it doesn't
Yep.
have to be Avengers. I mean, why didn't we chalk the Falcon and Winter Soldier show? You could have legit put Falcon's whole entire origin in a movie on an Avengers team with a bunch of other with a bunch of other characters, in my opinion. You could have really have put U.S. Agent down for this time. We could have saved U.S. Agent for like later on. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
and that's kind of where I'm starting to um, like,
And by the way,
yeah,
this brings James Gunn's situation with the DCU to much better circumstances, because before the MCU existed, you have to remember that the characters of DC, I mean Batman, Superman, Flash, you know they've always been more popular
yeah,
than the top Marvel characters. Other than Spider-Man, I don't think, maybe Captain America, I don't think any of them really hold a candle to the popularity of those three. And
yep,
and then you throw in the Green Lanterns and some of the other stuff they're doing. It If you were to go back to like 2015 to 2018, I would say good luck to DC. Like I think they'll
yeah,
put something together, but like now, Marvel is really slacking. The future looks problematic. As much as I'm hopeful, and and they have some good
yeah,
things going for them, because they do. But it seems like there are a lot of decisions that are out of their control,
yeah.
and are kind of forced on them. And
I
then
agree.
you would think they would be more cautious with the decisions that are in their control, and they do control the fate of, and they don't. They keep dropping the ball on those ones also, and
Yep.
that's what I have a problem with. And listen, when Batman, the Brave and the Bold comes out and Damian Wayne gets introduced, like that's how you introduce a character to audiences. You
with
know,
with the A-list character. But really
yeah.
quick, we do have a comment in the chat.
Okay.
Pop call King. He said, um, Aliqua Cox said, tweeted, can't wait for October. Recently, which is interesting. Some people are saying it is a tease for the Echo show. And then he said, the numbers don't lie. I guess that comment to you talking about the Ant-Man filling. And then he said this, a crossover is needed. I don't a crossover is needed. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it
it has
has
to
to
be an
be an
Avengers.
Avenger movie. And I mean, and that is facts. I mean, like there, like I
Shout out
remember,
to
dude.
Pop
I was
King.
yeah, Call King. Thank you for commenting, bro. I really appreciate it. But and I'm gonna show these comments down here for you guys. We're going to keep this coming up here, but and that is a fact. Like, bro, I was literally watching Superhero Squad last night, and basically, the whole
Suicide
entire
Squad.
story was no, Superhero Squad, like the animated
Oh,
show,
I
and
don't
there was
know
a
it.
whole oh, dude, it's like the funniest show ever.
I'll
Greatest
check it out.
version of Modoc ever. it's like a kid show. It's so hilarious. But basically, the crossover story is that so the Super Squad is like Iron Man, the Hulk, Wolverine, Silver Surfer. It's so dope. But what happened was Galactus and all of his heralds were coming to Earth, and so Iron Man, the Silver Surfer, and the Fantastic Four went out on the moon to fight Galactus and his heralds. Those are the kind of stories that would be awesome in the MCU, where we don't need there doesn't need to be a definite team for something to happen. And to me, like when I watched the Winter Soldier and like we have a team of Natasha, Cap, and Falcon. That's a team, you know.
But here's
when I watch, yeah.
I was gonna, here's the other thing, and to the numbers don't lie. Is when it comes down to it, the Avengers have become so popular that they're not gonna make that big budget movie and not call it Avengers just because it's automatically going to sell more tickets as an Avengers movie. And I think that's a big factor into it also.
True.
True. So I think, and I do think there probably was consideration to do Civil War as an Avengers movie, and they did it as Captain America. But I do agree. I think they need more crossovers that aren't Avengers movies. But I don't think we're going to, who knows if we're going to get any before Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. I think the Illuminati would be really cool. You could do that, and they could still call it New Avengers. The Illuminati has always been a New Avengers thing. For those of you that don't know, New Avengers is a different version of Avengers in the comics with usually a smaller team.
West Coast Avengers. There's so many.
Yep.
I mean, and you could do the same Avengers with the X-Men. The Uncanny X-Men.
The Uncanny
X-Men version.
Yep.
I agree.
And
okay, so sorry, what were you saying?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, it's just a pain seeing. And guys, mind you, Comic Cut tonight, we are the most positive fans out of the bunch. Like I'm telling you, like we're the ones defending. And for us to say this means that they're really fumbling the bag. Just letting you guys know, like we're not toxic fans. Like we don't really like complain that much. So for us to complain about this is really an issue. But let's get into some news. So here's some rumors that has come out. So I know there was talks that Jaden Smith is going to be Miles Morales, and the rumor was that he was going to be the live action Miles in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse film. And so right now, hold on. Pop Cult King put down another comment that I'm gonna pull up. He says there are actually rumors about the West Coast Avengers showing up in Armor Wars. I would Pop Cult King, bro. I'll be down for that. Yo, bro. Pop Cult King. If you wanna jump on the show, I'm gonna drop the invite link in the comments. If you want to talk to us for like 5, bro, and you can join us. If you want in the chat, here is the link. Join up if you want, homie. I'm sending it right now. That's a link if you want to hop in. But yeah, if the West Coast Avengers show up in Armor Wars, that is actually a W. And I ain't gonna cap that. That's a W. Very huge. Were you privy to the rumors about Jada Smith being Miles Morales?
That's my first time hearing of it. I actually like it. I think Jaden Smith would carry that role. I think a lot of people would have problems with him, and I think some have to do with the big push against nepotism right now, and also what's the other one that people are? Oh, I think that naturally, it's funny. The same people that complain about nepotism would probably also complain that his father slapped Chris Rock, even though that wasn't him. But anyway, I think Jaden Smith is a bit more talented. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's definitely a bit of a weirdo, but like weirdos, first of all, normally are pretty good artists, number one. Number two, I think the kid could act, and I think that I never thought he got enough credit. Like he's a talented musician.
Great. His music is amazing. I love his music.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him as Miles Morales. I think it's the best name I've heard so far.
Yeah, I think Jaden, bro, as Miles would be a really big resurgence for his career. Obviously, if you follow Jaden like on Instagram, you can see that he literally like has put us all into music. And so I think him being a Miles Morales would be a really good idea. But the rumor right now is that he is out as Miles. And I honestly I I don't think it's because they found someone else. I think the real reason is because they're not going to show us a live action of Miles Morales, and Kevin Feige probably has something to do with that if we're keeping it 100. I think they're just going to wait on it. I know the other rumor is that what to call it is going to play a really big part. That Tom Holland is going to be the live action Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse film.
I've seen that.
Apparently, we're going to be like switching realities, which I can't wait. I hope we get to see a live action Miles, but you know, we will see what happens, and if they
Why
do
not
cast
though?
Miles Morales, hmm?
I think putting Miles Morales into the MCU would be a huge W. They could
And
use
that's the thing. I don't think he will be an MCU though. I think it will be the SUMC.
right, right. But my point is, I think the MCU could use as many banger characters as they possibly could get right now. And Miles Morales isn't one that has so many other characters. Like, you can't bring in Wolverine without bringing Cyclops, without bringing in Storm or Dark Phoenix, Magneto. Like, Miles Morales, there's really, other than like, his father and his uncle, like, which aren't hard characters to bring in, you don't really have to bring it. There's not for lack of a better term, there's not that much baggage of characters that you have to bring in with him. He seems like
Yeah,
an easy play to me. He seems like a big W. And I don't think any fans would complain about Miles Morales. I think everyone likes Miles Morales, Spider-Man. I think everyone likes Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know. There's just to me, there's no reason not to do it, and there's all the reason to do it.
I agree. I think that's a W all around. Now, next, okay. So next, I want to talk about Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel because I do think they're going to have one of the biggest roles in the Avengers King, the Dynasty, and I think that Shang-Chi is a great addition to the Avengers team. I think he can bring some resurgence to the Avengers team. Shang-Chi is creeping its way into my top 12 as well. I just keep watching it, and the movie gets better as like I see it. Shang-Chi was such a great film. But anyways, so obviously we and you I know you're on the same wavelength that I'm on. Miss Marvel's bangle and Shang-Chi's rings have something to do with Kang.
100%.
And it's just too similar. We saw it in the end of Shang-Chi when Wong said that there's a beacon. I think that scene might be perpendicular with the Ant-Man events going on. I have something to talk to you about with Ant-Man as well right after this because we're getting to it today. But
Okay.
yeah, we're getting to it today. I really believe that there has to be another bangle. Do you think that? Because remember, in the end of Miss Marvel, when we saw Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel switch places, do you think she might have come in contact with that other bangle, which made them switch places?
It's possible. It's possible, especially her, patrolling all of space and the universe, not multiverse universe. It's possible she could have had some kind of run in with Kang already. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if she had.
And here is my theory, right? Because I believe that Kang uses the rings
Mm,
to make sure that he doesn't age, and he uses the bangle to travel in time.
I could see that. I could see that for sure.
Because
And
Kamala Khan time travel, dude.
yeah, and I think it would bring a lot more weight to the Marvels, and I think that they want the Marvels to be a major success, being that it's so female centric. And by the way, I actually do have a lot of high hopes for that movie. I like Captain Marvel a lot. I like Miss Marvel a lot. So, two of the three I'm big fans of.
You
Photon.
don't like Monica Rambeau?
I don't not like Monica Rambeau. I just don't like, she hasn't earned that, like what Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers have from me yet. I
I
don't
ain't gonna
think
lie,
she's
bro.
been in enough
I
yet.
think I think Photon's gonna outshine them both. I love bro. Monica Rambeau is
Uh-huh.
dog. I don't know why, but in WandaVision, she became one of my favorite characters. And then I started reading a bunch of Photon comics. I'm like, bro, like, oh, she's amazing. But but I see what you're saying. She has to earn her right to party. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel you. I feel
And
you.
she hasn't had much. She's been, kind of like a background character in WandaVision,
Yeah.
and that's really the most. Miss Marvel had her own show, surprise breakout, and Captain Marvel had her own movie, and I love that movie. And it's funny because when it came out, I thought I was going to hate it. I did not like things that Brie
Yeah.
Larson was saying,
Yeah.
and
She's
yeah.
great actress though.
So
I can't lie. She's a great actress.
yeah. But just it goes to show you, like, these actors, they say things, and then, you kind of like don't think you're going to like a movie. But I did like the movie. I thought it was great.
Yep.
I actually watched it again last week.
Yep. That's why, guys, we don't judge people. We don't judge people's work by the personality because they're acting. They're being different people.
Yeah.
lesson one, our young Padawans. Welcome to film school. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I think they're going to play really big roles, and I think Shang-Chi and Ms. Marvel are going to get their butts beat by Kang, and it's going to be hilarious. And I can't wait to see that. Okay, so now while we're here, let's just get to Ant-Man, and then we'll get into the Marvels because there's a little bit more that we need to talk about. So with Ant-Man, and I'm going to just tell me how you feel about this. So, basically, the working theory is that Scott is in a time loop, and I kind of believe it. So apparently, the theory is that after the Council of Kings said that the Avengers are going to pay. By the way, this is the reason a lot of people have been saying online, and a lot of people were coming at me saying, "Why would the Kangs want to kill Hope? Shouldn't they be happy that they killed Kang?" No, they wouldn't be happy. Do you know why? Because that's not what happened in the timeline that they lived 1,000, a million times, and so them killing Kang wasn't supposed to happen. And because that happened, now the whole entire timeline is in shambles. And I actually saw something that really caught my attention that was on Twitter. When Janet is putting in the coordinates for them to go back, you see 4 different branches start to extend as this is happening. So what if the Kangs did something behind the scenes? So now Scott is just reliving the same time, because look, the difference is the guy knew who Ant-Man was, and the people were just acting funny.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think that Kang.
Grab a hoodie. I hear you though.
Yeah, I think Kang knew who Ant-Man was and forgot, like you said. But I definitely think Kang and Ant-Man had crossed paths before, and I think that I really think that Kang had just gotten so tired of fighting the Avengers over and over again, and as much as he loves it, and I think it kind of drives him crazy in his own way, and I think that was what made him such a burdened and angry character.
Like you talking about this version of Kang?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you say a different version of Kang? I might have missed that.
Wait. Are you saying
I was
the Kang
making a note.
and are you saying the Kang and Ant-Man?
Yeah.
So you think he got sick of it? Interesting.
I think he got sick of the Avengers, and I think he got sick of being there. He was kind of like, because remember when he was like, oh, I may have killed you. I think I killed the guy with the hammer,
Yeah.
like, and also Jeff Loveness had made a comment about how he really liked writing Kang being such a burdened and angry and frustrated character. And I think that, I think that think about it. Put yourself in his shoes. He's like going from timeline to timeline and conquering and conquering and conquering, it's fucking madness. And I do think it has to drive him crazy in some way, shape, or form.
Do you think that this is the Kang that is in love with what's her name? It's not Reva. It's not Reva. Why is Reva coming to my mind right now? What's her name?
Yeah.
Ravonna.
Yeah.
What if this is the Kang? Because I mean, in the comics, Kang was conquering because he thought that would save Ravonna from dying, or he thought that would make Ravonna love him. But Ravonna didn't love him because he was such a violent conqueror. So he started showing her vulnerable sides of himself. And the moment when she was going to tell him that she loved him, she dies. What if that already happened? And that's what made him go pissed off to conquer the world. Like we don't necessarily know the exact story of what's happening. So
Right.
it'll be very interesting to see, like, because obviously in King Dynasty we're going to get, because there was a really big part of his origin taken out of the Ant-Man film. So very interested to see
Right.
what happens. Okay, so let's get into the Marvels. Okay, so there was a Marvels plot leak that I don't really want to go over that per se, but like with the Marvels, I have a hard time thinking how the heck is this going to push the story with Kane the Conqueror if we're going to be traveling in space so much. Like I know the Bengals going to have to play a part, but is the Bengal going to play a part in this film? You know,
So
is a
Kang
version of Kane going to be in this?
so Kang does travel space a bit. If I remember correctly, the Kang Dynasty, he had his own spaceship, which was in the shape of a giant sword. So I do think he does travel space, and there's no way he has all that tech and he doesn't.
Sword.
Oh
What if
shit.
oh my what if Victor Timely is running Sword, bro?
Yo, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. And by the
What
way,
oh my god.
I was just gonna say, like, I know that a lot of you guys are probably want to read Kang Dynasty because they're making Avengers Kang Dynasty, and you all hear that the Secret Wars comics were amazing. I want to save you some pain. Kang Dynasty fucking sucks. Okay, watch a YouTube recap. It was awful. Kurt Busiek is probably my least favorite
Oh my
comic
god.
writer of all time. And a lot of people say, oh, they think he's great. His shit is like a corny soap opera. When I talked about the guy that said, oh, well, it's good if you like hanging with your faves, guess what he was saying about Kurt Busiek's Avengers run? It fucking sucks.
Is that bad?
It's that bad, dude. It's just, and it's not even that the story was bad. It's just that his writing is so bad. It's so goofy. It's so outdated. And it's not even like that old in terms of comics. Like, I think that shit came out in like the early 2000s. And
Mm.
it is just so hard to read. Like, it is not fun. And he also wrote Avengers Forever, which like I think that's a better story, but even that people say it's not a fun read. Like sometimes you're better off watching a YouTube recap and just saving yourself, especially if you're like just getting into comics,
Yeah.
like it's like watching a movie. You don't want to watch a movie you're not going to enjoy. You don't want to read something you're not going to enjoy. Who wants to do that? You don't have to do that to be a fan and to know what's going on. Sometimes you could watch a fucking YouTube recap. If it ever involves you having to suffer to know what's going on in the story, it's not fucking worth it.
I agree. I agree, brother. I agree. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot. As I said, the Marvels. There is a plot leak. I'll read it to you next episode because I don't think any of it's true. But from what I read, it was terrible. But I think with the research, they're changing the whole movie again. So I'm scared. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's get into Sony, man, because Sony kind of has a big year for next year. Their Craven's coming out next year, Venom's coming out next year, and the Madam Web movie is coming out next year.
Madam Web is dope.
And I heard that. Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing. Apparently, the Marvels had a early screening, and I heard that it's like it's good, like it's okay. That's what I've heard.
That does
So
not sound good.
no, we don't need an I
you know,
movie. We need a freaking banger.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And this is going to show us whether if Captain Marvel really lived off of that, like that Infinity War hype. I'll be honest. That
Yeah.
like this is really going to show us. But anyways, so I think Madam Web's going to be a great movie.
I think so too. I think she's a really cool character, and you could do a lot with that.
And it's played by Sydney Sweeney. Like,
She's
duh.
great.
She's a great
Yeah.
actress. She's
Yeah.
gonna be really good. Okay, and then so I think Venom 3 is going to be complete trash, to be honest with you.
I agree. I think the second one was awful. I mean,
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, like it was like a fun movie to watch.
The
but
graphics were dope, like the CGI
Yeah.
was good, but the plot, and this is the thing, and this is why I think Craven is also going to be trash because they're probably just going to make up stuff about his origin. And this is the thing when it comes to Spider-Man characters, and this is why I hate the Joker movie so much because of this. When you have prime characters like Batman, like Spider-Man, the villain is trash without the hero. Venom to me doesn't work without Spider-Man.
Right.
Venom has such a hatred for Spider-Man that it is one of the greatest on-screen beefs that I've ever seen in my life. I might like Spider-Man and Venom better than Spider-Man and Green Goblin, and I'm just keeping it
Yeah.
100. And
Yeah.
that's just because the hate is so strong for Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
Craven and Spider-Man are such a great match to go up against each other. Two different fight styles, two different types of people. One hunter against a freaking dude that just webs around cities. Like it's a crazy plot line and plot and story.
Yeah.
But when you're
Yeah.
doing a Craven origin story, are you freaking kidding me? Are you
And
serious?
right. And what's so crazy to me is that like they are kind of going to like a grounded Spider-Man, which is like really what Spider-Man is all about. And they could really use villains like Craven, like Venom. But we're not getting those villains if they're also making those movies in the Sonyverse. That's not going to
Yes,
happen. I mean,
exactly.
Marvel didn't even make them more true to character because DC was doing Aquaman. You think that MCU is going to bring in Venom when the Sony MCU, whatever it's called, has so it just seems like it seems like Sony is actually going to screw over the next trilogy of the Spider-Man saga. Venom 3 is rumored to see Venom going to kill Spider-Man, but ends up seeing that Peter in his timeline is a kid and becomes his mentor. Take it the way you
God
want. I don't
no.
buy it.
God
Yeah, I don't buy
no.
it. That
God
is,
no. That
I
is
get it. Take it the
garbage.
way you want, but yeah, that there's no way they're doing that. That they've made some dumb decisions, but that one could be one of
Yeah.
the dumbest moves I've ever heard.
I can see Tom Hardy's Venom not wanting to kill Peter, and so the symbiote jumps on Peter. That's the way I
Right,
see it
right,
going.
right.
Like I can see it like that. Oh, you don't want to kill him? Well, then I'm gonna join him. I can see something like that. I couldn't necessarily see
Also,
him being a mentor to Spidey. That would
I
be weird.
know like the most iconic Spider-Man villain is between Green Goblin and Doc Ock, but like, growing up in the 90s, Venom was it. Like Venom was the shit. He was
I
everywhere.
agree. I think he's the
Yeah,
best villain for Spider-Man. I ain't gonna
I
lie. Like,
agree. I
I
agree.
think he's like, dude, I might like Kingpin more than Doc. I don't know, man. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. I like Kingpin too, bro.
me
So
too.
I think that there's a lot to question there. But I will say this: if I was Sony, I would be going for a futuristic Spider-Man. I don't understand why they don't have another Spider-Man. If they had a second Spider-Man in the Sony universe, it would hold that universe together, and they will make billions. I promise you. Like
What do you mean, like another Peter Parker in the Sony verse?
I would have done a Spider-Man Unlimited trilogy.
I never actually watched that show.
Or we could have got, or we get Spider Man. What was it? 1099 Spider Man. What? What is the fee?
2099.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Miguel
like,
O'Hara.
yeah, we could have even gotten a Spider Man 2099 film. I mean, I think that
No.
there's so many other versions of Spider Man that you can use. I don't understand. Now, me personally, I would do Miles in the Sony and Peter in the MCU. I think that that's just the perfect
Yeah.
balance, the best
By
of
the
both
way,
worlds. But
that's a big concern I have about Across the Spider-Verse because I think that if you bring Tom Holland in live action, I think he could outshine Miles Morales, and I think that's a problem. I don't think they should put Tom Holland in live action unless they're going to put a Miles Morales live action.
I think it all depends on how long he's in the film.
That's fair.
If it's like a quick cameo, fine. But if it's like what they did with Toby and Andrew Garfield, dude, he's gonna steal the show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, how could he not? He's a real actor for his animation. I mean,
Exactly.
it's a no brainer.
So okay, so next, okay, so now let's jump topics real quick. All right, let's talk about some Star Wars because I heard some Star Wars news that I want to hear your opinion on.
Let's hear it.
So Star Wars Celebration is coming up, obviously in London. Obviously, we can't go to London. We will, well, we will, but the rumor is that there will be 3 projects announced. There's going to be
Oh
a
boy,
Luke Skywalker project, a Han Solo project, and a Princess Leia project.
I'm not happy about it. I think that Luke Skywalker was watered down for me in the last trilogy. You know, Luke Skywalker was never one of my favorite characters. Um,
Aren't you an
you know,
Anakin guy?
yeah, but Anakin is not Luke Skywalker. You know, I think I always thought Luke Skywalker was kind of soft. Obviously, he delivered at the end, but like, um, Han Solo, I don't think they should do a Han Solo project. They already did one. Why go down that road again? And
Agreed.
Princess Leia, like,
I
sounds
will
like
leave it
another.
alone. Carrie, no
Yeah,
offense, but Carrie's gone, man. Leave it be, man.
yeah.
I wouldn't even
Like,
touch that.
and speaking of that, like everyone was against recasting T'Challa, but people are going to be okay with recasting Carrie Fisher when there's no reason to, you know. So,
Exactly.
I would like to see more Obi-Wan. I'd like to see other Jedi's. I'd like to see more. I Qui-Gon Jinn. Maybe
Give me a
some
Mace
Darth
Windu
Maul.
origin story, bro. Like, bro.
Yeah,
And speaking of this, right? Because Mando comes out in the next like 2 days. Dude, if Mace Windu shows up in the end of this season, bro, I will pass out on stream. I swear to you, bro. I will faint.
that would be crazy. Mace
Like
Windu is
what?
dope. Yeah.
Like what?
Um, you know, like I just think there's so many characters in Star Wars that you could use, and I think if Mandalorian and Obi-Wan have shown us anything, it's that spin-offs are better than the last trilogy, and stop trying to keep the story revolved around Skywalker characters unless it's going to be around Anakin, which Obi-Wan was, or Darth Vader. Um, but I don't want to see Luke Skywalker's children. I don't want to see Han Solo's children, even though I thought Kylo Ren was great. I just think that story didn't work. Uh, let's not do more of the same. Let's do something new. Like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was great. Another Jedi show, like around Qui-Gon or someone else, would be awesome. I also always thought it was a shame that Darth Maul only had that one movie where we barely learned about him, but he was obviously a really dope character. I never
The
watched the clone.
one of the dopest Sith Lords ever, and he just got just
Yeah,
canned. Like,
yeah. Like, and it's a shame because Darth Maul, you could do a lot of cool stuff around them. So like I said, I would rather see that than Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Carrie Fisher. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I would love a Luke Skywalker, like short film or series or whatever. Though my only stipulation is it
I'd
has
be
to be the
okay with
Luke.
that.
Yeah. My only stipulation, bro, is it has to be the Luke that's in the in the Mando timeline. Like it has to be in that time frame because
Yeah,
anything that leads to Ben Solo to me is just trash because we all know how it ends.
yeah. But the problem with doing that with Luke is they'd have to do it animated CGI,
Oh,
and
the talking about the deep fake.
yeah, yeah. So that's a problem too. And
I
I don't know
mean, it
if they're
worked
good.
for Boba.
The Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That was where he appeared. I thought it was in Mandalorian.
He was in Mando, but he also was in Boba Fett when he trained. He was training when he trained
Grogu.
Grogu. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. But like it's crazy to me that after putting 3 movies together, making the biggest deal of those 3 movies, that you put out 3 Disney Plus shows, or 4 Disney Plus shows, and 2 of those 4 Disney Plus shows are the best thing we've seen since Star Wars, since Revenge of the Sith. It's out of fucking. It's mind boggling. Mind
Because of
boggling.
Favaroni, bro. It's the Favaroni. And I'll be honest,
He
if
knows
it
what's
is
up.
true, They understand Star Wars and they understand what George Lucas created, and that's the issue. None of these people understand what George Lucas actually created, you know. And yes, George Lucas missed out on a lot. I mean, we all understand that, but George Lucas's version of Star Wars is the best version, and there will never be anything that comes close. And if John Favreau and Dave Filoni take this leadership role after Kathleen Kennedy, we're in good hands. We're in really good hands, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just I I would love the idea of these projects happening. I think it'll be another MCU dilemma. Why not just put them all in three projects and bring back the guy that played Han Solo, bring back Donald Glover as Lando, and we can do a literally a 1 hour and 30-minute film of them on a mission. I'm fine with that. Give me
Yeah.
the layout, give me everything. But if we're gonna do separate projects, bro, I don't want that, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we're getting the Ahsoka show, and I am beyond excited about that
Me
more
too.
than anything. I want to see Ezra.
It's crazy.
Like,
It seems like Disney's failed leadership is like they can't help themselves, and it's like it's so mind-boggling because they have the greatest IP ever, and the two greatest IPs, and like
yeah. And
they're
Star
just
Wars is
fumbling.
arguably the greatest film IP of all time, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right.
Like, it don't matter how bad you do. Star Wars is always going to make 1 billion, and that's facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, after the crap show that they put out with
Yeah.
Rise, it's like, and that movie still did 1 billion, bro. Still,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So it's like, they have to figure it out, and Kathleen has to get out of the freaking rooms, bro. And I think that's the main issue. And Den of Nerds was talking about this. You need people in those rooms that understand Star Wars. We need people in these rooms that understand Marvel. Get these executives out of there. Anytime executives come in, it ruins everything. And that's why I think DC with James Gunn is going to be such a big hit. And
Yeah.
it is going,
David
and
Zaslav knows what he's doing, and
exactly, and
he put the
everyone's
right
hating.
people. Yeah.
Exactly. And so many people are hating, bro. And it's going to be hilarious, right? When those
I need
same
to get a
people that
hat that
are
says
hating,
"Don't listen to the fans."
uh-huh.
Like,
Wait, now, dude. Remember when LeVar Ball had the hat when his son got drafted? I think it said I told you so. I'm buying that
yeah,
hat, bro,
yeah,
because
yeah,
yeah, remember? But because when this Batman movie comes out, when this Superman when we get the trailer for the Superman Legacy film, and fans are going to be super hyped. Oh, here we go. Oh man, you just
we got to tag that one.
oh man, the hate comes from the Snyder. You are right. The
I
hate does
love
come from
Snyder,
Snyder's fan.
but you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The hate does come from Snyder fans. But I do know some nonsense Snyder fans that aren't very happy with the universe. But honestly, Pop Call King, I think most of that anger comes directly because of Henry Cavill not being in the DCU, and
Yep.
I think that's where most of the hate comes from. And I think a lot of people are also pissed about the Batman situation because Pattinson, if we're being honest, Pattinson should be the freaking Batman. If we're
100%.
being real, there's no reason
100%.
why he shouldn't be the Batman.
But
And for
I
somebody,
think
yeah,
that was a provision with Matt Reeves, and I
oh
think
yeah,
Matt Reeves did. He was. I think when he signed on, he probably said, hey, "Listen, I'll do this, but I want my own thing. I don't want
mm-hmm.
to ever be a part of any shared universe." And I think that it was out of their control. I think if
Yep,
they had the power to do it, they would do it. But having said that, I think that they are going to. I think they're going to pick a really good actor, and I think that actor is going to do a really good job. I think David Zaslav, head of Warner Brothers, knows what, or Warner Media knows what he's doing. I think he picked James Gunn and Peter Safran, and knows what they're doing, and he's not going to get involved with them.
yep. And James Gunn has been putting up W's like Suicide Squad, great movie. I mean, he's like his first. I mean, the Peacemaker show was amazing. You know, so I am very excited to see what is kind of next in store for the DCU. And if Marvel keeps playing like this, they're going to get cooked, and that's facts. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
they better figure it out. And honestly, um, you know, I think that seeing James Gunn take over DC is like It's like you see someone that you like grew up with basically take this big spot in something. You know what I mean? Like I feel some sense of like ownership when I'm like, yo, like I remember this guy with Guardians 1. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited to see what James Gunn does with Superman, and I have faith that that movie's going to be a straight up banger.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
yep. So okay, so we are coming to a closing. We got 5 minutes left. Hold on. Let's see what my brother said. I'm afraid though, if James Gunn uses B-listers like the Creature Command, so that also, and Comic Cuts and I were really just talking about that earlier today because he said that he already has his castings for the Authority. I don't know if the Authority is going to perform it that well. I honestly think it's all about how they're teased. If these characters are teased the right way, it will work. You know, because the Authority has the potential to be either one of the two. They either can be the Guardians, right, or the Eternals. You know, like the Eternals are universally hated. I love the Eternals. Comic Cuts loves the Eternals, but they're universally hated, or they're the Guardians where they're universally loved. It's just all about who is casted and how they are portrayed in the film. Now, Creature Commandos, that's going to be an animated show, so who cares about that? Honestly, I mean, I don't give a crap about any of the animated content that revolves around B-listers. But I think the Authority has to be done right since it's going to be live action.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think the Creature Commandos sounds all too interesting, but I don't have doubt on animated shows after What If. And I think James Gunn knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to surprise us with the ones that don't sound interesting. Especially because that seems to be his like talent is taking lesser known characters and making them so loved that they become mainstream. The Authority sounds interesting to me. It's got a lot of hype from a lot of people. So I think that will be cool. I think I've read some comics with them, but I kind of forgot what happened in those comics. So I do need to revisit that. But another comic that skyrocketed in value since James Gunn's announcement sounds really cool to me, which is Booster Gold. For those of you that don't know, and I think James Gunn pretty much said this on that video that he put out, is that Booster Gold is kind of like a loser from the future who takes basic technology available in his future day and age and travels back to the past with it and uses it to convince everyone that he's like a really powerful superhero, which he kind of it becomes in the past, which probably like our present day and age. And I think that Booster Gold is going to win a lot of people over. He just seems like the perfect James Gunn style project. If the market value of comics means anything to you, I don't think that book skyrocketed by mistake.
Yep. And I hope that they do a show. I don't think it will perform well as a movie, but as like a 6 episode show, I think it will fit perfect. And then
I
and then
agree.
when you get the success of the show, you pair him with another character, and that's the best way to do
Yeah.
Boost Gold, and in my opinion. So, but as I said, right now James Gunn is in my good. He's in my good graces, and I really have no fear of what he's going to show us. And just know, guys, some castings are coming very soon. Very, very. It's coming sooner than you think. Very, very sooner than you think. Okay, so before we go, we got 2 minutes left before we end here, guys. I do want to touch on just some other things. Okay, so I know last week we talked about the Fantastic Four, and I know that the rumor is that they are going to be older. There was a comment that was made I think yesterday, and the comment is by one of the Marvel Studios executives. I forget his name, but he said that he basically and I'm trying to paraphrase. He said that we are going to be surprised with the direction that the Fantastic Four takes, that it's going to be something that we've really never seen before on screen. Has your mind changed about getting a older Fantastic Four? Like,
You
like, do,
know,
do you still want to see like the younger
yeah.
version?
And I've been watching Outer Banks, which I love. And what's the kid's name that plays JJ in Outer Banks? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
really
Rudy
quick,
Pank out.
would hold on real fast. But would you like Pratt as a Booster Gold or no?
I think he'd be perfect.
I agree. I agree. Anyways, what were you saying, bro? The Outer Banks.
So I
Oh, thank you
love
for
out.
subbing, bro. Thank you for
Thank you.
subscribing, bro. Appreciate it, homie. Appreciate it.
So I've been watching Outer Banks. Love it. Great show. Rudy Pankow, it plays JJ, one of the main characters of the show, and I just think he would be uh, a great Johnny Storm. I do kind of want to see the team be a bit younger, but I also kind of understand that, Reed Richards. I also think for the Secret Wars story to work, Reed Richards can't be too young. So, like maybe 30 years old or
So you
something.
want
And
like a mid age? You want like a mid age
yeah,
read?
yeah. I don't want him to be too old. But like I'm not surprised to hear that they're gonna be doing something completely different with Fantastic Four. I think Fantastic Four is one of the best movies they have that's announced for the future right now. It's by far, I think when they come out, they'll be like tied with Spider-Man for my favorite characters in the MCU. And they can't afford to mess that one up. They really can't. And because there has been, what's considered to be failures, Fantastic Four has never had a successful movie. I do think that they have to do things differently uh, to get a different result. So I've been expecting to hear something like this for a long time. So to me, it's no surprise.
I agree. I agree. The Fantastic Four, man. They can't mess this one up. It's literally sitting in their lap. But I trust Mark Shackman. He did a great job with Wanda and Vision. I think the pacing of that movie was perfect. So I'm excited to see what Shackman does for that film. So yeah, man. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. Do us a favor, guys. Please like and subscribe. I just want to give you guys a quick notification before we go off. So Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a live stream of the Mandalorian episode, season 3, episode 1. So I'll be waking up at 2 a.m. and I'll be streaming at 3 a.m. The episode is
Damn.
only a half hour. Yeah, dude. I know we're going crazy. The episode is only a half hour, so we will do that. And so what we are going to do is the days that me and Comic Cuts are usually going to record is usually going to be either Monday or Tuesday and Saturday. So Saturday's going to be more of where we watch stuff. So we have a watch party going on, and we're probably going to be kept watching all of the Star Wars films. And then after that, we'll probably get Comic Cuts caught up on Invincible. By the way, you guys won't know Comic Cut's name until we hit 1,000 subs. So he will never say his name until we hit 1,000 subs. Just let you guys know.
Facts.
So we are we are going to be putting content out for you guys every week. And next week we have a very special guest, a very beloved person that we both enjoy, and we're not going to tell you who it is, but we have a really special guest, and we think you guys are going to like him.
Yeah, great documenter, former scooper. So he used to get the inside scoop from people straight at Hollywood, and big comics guy, big gaming guy, big movie guy. A lot of you probably already follow him. He's got a solid following. He gets a lot of engagement. Does a lot of Q&As, and he always gets really good questions on his Q&As, and he gives really good answers. So we've been friendly with him and asked him to come on the show, and we're happy that he agreed to come on, and we hope that you will enjoy it. We think you will.
Yep. And with him, we have a lot more other guests in the works as well. So another special one that Comic Cuts and I are working on as well. So guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and share this post with all the nerds that you know. If you guys ever want to debate, the link will always be in the bio, and Jerry and I will give you guys the smoke. We are built for the debate game. We love to debate, so bring them on. We love you guys. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a wonderful day. Peace.